Roman Catholicism has always been prevalent within the parishes that form the modern city of Birmingham. However, following the English Reformation of the 16th century, driven by Henry VIII, the country assumed an Anglican identity and Catholics faced persecution in the city. It wasn't until the 19th century that Catholics had more freedom, and by the mid-1800s, Birmingham was becoming an important centre of Roman Catholicism. In this short video, we will take a look inside 4 of Birmingham's Roman Catholic churches and learn about their history. St Anne's Church was built in 1884, displaying a 13th century Gothic style of architecture that was common in the 19th century at the peak of the Gothic revivalist movement. Now surrounded by the bustling industrial buildings of Digbeth, the church stands out with its red brick facade, high arching windows and tall steeple. Founded in 1849, St Anne's is one of the oldest missions in Birmingham. The first church building of St Anne's was opened in an old gin distillery on the same road that the new church is currently located, and this was the home of the Birmingham Oratory for 3 years. The Oratory is a Catholic community of the Congregation of the Oratory of St Philip Neri, which dates back to 1575. St John Henry Newman brought the congregation to Birmingham, establishing the first oratory in the English-speaking world. John Henry Newman was one founder of the Oxford movement, set up to revitalise the Church of England before his controversial conversion to Catholicism at the age of 44. He left his life as a Church of England clergyman, became a Catholic priest, and dedicated himself to educating and caring for others. Newman was St Anne's first parish priest, and he delivered many famous sermons here on the questions of Anglicanism. The oratory moved from St Anne's to its permanent home in Edgbaston in 1852. The new classical church, often described as Little Roman Birmingham, is an example of Edwardian Baroque architecture. Newman had identified the classical style as his favourite, as opposed to the popular Gothic revivalist architecture of the time. Inside, the grand, elegant church is rich with marble and mosaic. 2 rows of 6 marble columns line the church, supporting the roof of the nave. This marble was quarried in Italy, rolled down a mountainside, shipped to England, and rolled across Hagley Road to the church. In the semi-dome, above the apse, Mary is depicted in small coloured glass mosaics. A shrine to St Philip is found in the corner of the church. The white altar houses a wax effigy to the saint, while the case underneath contains his relics. The floor is a variegated marble mosaic, and it's one of the most precious floors in the West Midlands. The Stations of the Cross are a vivid Limoges enamel, framed in copper, depicting Jesus on the day of his crucifixion. In a side room, you can find a shrine to John Henry Newman, including his relics. They can be found in a small red box decorated with the original handles from his coffin. In these shells, St Joseph's Church was built originally as a mortuary chapel in 1850, making it the first Catholic cemetery in Birmingham. It was designed by Augustus Welby Pugin, a great architect well known for his work on the Palace of Westminster and many buildings across Birmingham. A devout Roman Catholic convert, Pugin believed that architecture was interconnected with morality and religion. He longed for the faith and social structures of the medieval period to return, and his work pioneered the revival of medieval Gothic architecture. St Joseph's was later established as a parish church and opened in 1872. Pugin's son Edward enlarged the building in a high Victorian Gothic style. The church also houses stained glass windows created by local Catholic family firm Hardman & Co., founded by a close friend of Pugin, John Hardman. The Sacred Heart and Margaret Mary in Aston is served by the same parish priest as St Joseph's, but showcases a great contrast in architecture. Built more recently in the 1920s, the church exhibits an Italian Romanesque style with round, arched windows and a tall tower that was later added in 1934. This church is truly a hidden gem, not only for its grand architecture but also its exuberant Byzantine interior decoration. Inside, the church is dominated by its extravagant half-dome decorated with a rainbow mosaic. Underneath the dome, a large panel depicts Christ as he appeared before Margaret Mary in the 17th century, his red heart central in his chest. Above the altar, a row of saints are pictured in colourful mosaic and set in marble with gold accents. A theme of mosaic panels continues throughout the church, often depicting different episodes from the life of Christ. find out more about religious history and places of worship in Birmingham, head to atlasofbirmingham.co.uk and find us on Instagram at Atlas of Birmingham.